This is an Alliance podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the For the Culture podcast, soccer podcast for us, by us, talking about the intersection of Black culture and soccer. And for the first time, we are on the Alliance of the Protagonists podcast. You got your boy here, Grego here. Got your boy here, TK on the ones and twos. Got your boy Mayor Kane. Coach. Illinois, man. What happened, bro?
Bruh, that's what we gonna lead with? That's what we gonna lead with.
We can go up against anybody in the country.
We can, man.
He said.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad we got that loss out of our system now. We good now. We good. Y'all don't want to see, you still don't want to see us. Please. Line them up. We want Gonzaga. We want Baylor. We want them all. We'll get that line now back. And we got Michigan State back to back this weekend. Yeah, we good. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I hear you, Jay. I hear you.
Sorry, man.
We'll be back next week, folks. We'll be back.
But did you get tickets to the All-Star game?
No, I like staying healthy, bro. I like it.
It's apparently, allegedly, the NBA All-Star game is here in Atlanta this weekend. You know, we got our homies from Protagonists coming in this weekend. Like, I'm like, allegedly it might happen. I don't know. Like, because but of course, in true Atlanta fashion, there our homies at Georgia Followers put out a whole list of like parties that are going on in the city for the All-Star game that apparently none of the players can go to anyway. I'm like, why can't we just do right, please? Like,
right. Why are you acting like that's a normal weekend? That's the reason why COVID hasn't gone away in Atlanta, because that's a normal weekend.
Maybe sprinkle like maybe one or two extra, you know. But yeah, it's typical.
Ain't shit changed. Ain't shit different, bro. It's just now it's like, oh, now we can do some All-Star weekend. We can brand it differently. Exactly. We just branding it different, man. All the strip clubs are still popping. All the, wing spots are still popping. Waffle House is going to be popping. We know all the typical joints that haven't closed are still popping. So,
hey,
we don't need to go to the game. We're just going to party. That's all we're going to do.
Hey, you look at these many pre-games.
Say it again, TK.
I said it's beginning to look a lot like Texas.
Wow.
We just need to sprinkle in some snow. We're good.
Speaking of Texas, we got our boys from Protagonists, Dan Vaughn and Josh Duder. Going to have them on the second half of the show to talk about our new partnership with Protagonists. And let me say it again.
Are we supposed to have like lightning there or something?
Probably. Get that in post-production. Get that.
I was thinking like it needs to be more like, it's the juggernaut, bitch.
You know who I am.
It should be more like that, okay?
Rashad, what are you? What is this?
How good that voice was.
He seems satisfied with Tony's, all right.
The one they did on the cartoon and the one in the movie were like two different whole juggernaut voices. It was kind of crazy, but
what was your favorite?
I mean the cartoon version is
cartoon.
Yeah, hands down.
But, like, keep in mind that Juggernaut in the movie was played by former soccer player Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because his head is the only head that could fit into the actual helmet. So, yeah.
But yeah, man, thank you guys for joining us this week. Of course, make sure that you follow us on the social media, FTCUTD. Follow us on your favorite podcast apps, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, iHeartRadio. I found out we are also on Podcast Addict as well. Like I'm finding this as many places as possible. So make sure wherever you get your podcast apps, get that. It's on our YouTube channel as well. And like I said, we got a fun show that's full of smoke, and it's going to be a fun time. But I feel like since we came back, we had neglected the home team just a little bit, because last Friday they had their kit unveil. Now we usually have a kit review episode, and we're going to do that in a couple of weeks, actually, with our homies from 2 Cents FC. But I just wanted to show you all this real quick because I want to get your guys' initial thoughts just on the home team. So I did go ahead and cop one from the Adidas store in Lenox.
This is just Grego's way of bragging, y'all. That's all he's trying to do right now.
Just a small flex. Just a small.
Don't flex too hard because I can wear that.
But I'll say this much because we watched the unveil on Friday. They had Jeezy up at the unveil. Had a nice video. Oh,
let's get it.
Yeah, young Jay. Like, he's looked the same for like 20 years. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's just lost a little bit of weight, but yeah, he looks the same.
Damn,
that guy ate
on the white powder.
But honestly, the presentation I'm going to put it out there now. It's not the greatest kid in the world, but the presentation and how they did the event, like with the outdoor, out in the backyard, all the cars out in the backyard, like, they did their thing with the presentation. I mean, really, really good.
I thought Joe Biden was about to step out. It reminded me of Joe Biden's rallies, man. I was like, oh, shit. Like, this is
you get honking your horns like,
seriously.
I feel like Easy says presidential, so, that can go hand in hand.
Oh, I see what you did there, TK. Although, when he was rapping about it, his president was black. Although I guess he's saying his vice president is black now.
Yeah. And
close enough for me. It's close enough.
See, I give Howard love on occasion. I do it.
Yeah, but you had to beat down Michigan in the opening of this, man.
I mean, that's not Howard, so there you go.
but the coach.
Oh yeah, Heiser, yeah. Like, I mean, like, I know we declared the home team and let MLS at within this next month. We're going to get to it. I promise. Because we still got the season preview, we still got the kit review, so it's coming. But so we just want to give a quick shout out to the home team for like I said, it's a nice event. It's a nice. I tried to get there myself. I went a little too hard on the CP time. By the time I got out there, they were like, "Nah, man, it's about to close up, bro. Like you got you got to go and turn around." I was like, just
Grego CP.
You're super CP.
Yeah, I really.
Did you even see the laser show?
SCP.
No. Yeah, like they had a whole laser show. I missed all that. Like I was slacking hard.
I personally wouldn't have thought of something like that. But hey, a freaking laser show on the side of the stadium, like.
So our homie Larry Lee.
The laser show to Stone Mountain. Say that.
Our homie Larry.
I didn't want to take it there, but
thankfully they didn't do it there. But our homie Larry Luke, he wrote an article for Dirty South Soccer, and basically just kind of giving his review of the kit review because a lot of us saw the leaks that came out like about a month or two ago about how it's supposed to look, and even we were like, this ain't it. Even now, it still kind of ain't it, but it's a little better now that we see it in person. But I think for a lot of these jerseys that have come out for MLS, besides from being way too white, a lot of what we get the replicas, and the replicas, especially now, we don't get all the details that are involved with the jersey, and it's like we don't get the full picture. We didn't see the jersey has ass stripes. Like, we didn't see all that initially, So it's like what?
There's like some honeycomb stitching in there. What is that pattern? Like, it's a weird texture pattern. I can't explain.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. It's it's really nice in person. And for those of you who have been living on the rock. We get down with our personalization, so make sure that you go to ftcutd.myshopify.com. If you ever had the idea of like doing like the South American kits with all the sponsors and all that stuff, like we got something for you. We got something for you. So definitely, whether you're a United fan, Galaxy fan, FC Cincinnati, and you want your hookup, we got you, because like a lot of jerseys have come out this weekend. Again, we're gonna link up with our guys from Two Cents FC in a few weeks to give our reviews and all that good jazz. But yeah, let's get into some soccer. Let's see who got here. You know what? I don't know if y'all noticed my shirt today. It seemed like the whole weekend it just stayed on 0.
And it might stay there for a while.
For a minute, bro. Like, seriously.
I'm sure U.S. Soccer is probably like, does anybody see our Leagues Cup? Could y'all pay attention to that, please?
Yeah, they want anything like positive. The PR manager is going like crazy right now.
Because between last week with the anthem controversy with the women's national team, and then at their own annual governors meeting, one of the people from the athletes council decided to show his whole ass. And for a second, I thought this was like a relative of Adam John, because it's the same last name. It turns out they're not related. But Seth John, like, man, he just decided to see that quote unquote progressive culture, it's a problem. Like, did y'all catch up on this at all?
So highlight it for our listeners what happened.
So, like I said, the U.S. Soccer, they had their annual governors meeting over the weekend. They aired it on, I believe it was YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. And Seth John he's a Paralympic national team member, and he's on the athletes council, who put in votes for amongst the leagues and the federation. And yeah, he basically just went on like a 6-minute tirade about white supremacy. And then what made it worse was, at least the initial reaction from U.S. Soccer was like, we basically had to respect all viewpoints and everything, even if we don't agree with them. And I'm like, that's bullshit. That's a whole bunch of bullshit. And then the next day, on Sunday, when he gives his apology, mind you, we talked about this on Twitter that day, because basically within like the first 30 words of his apology was like, I'm not apologizing for what I said, and then wrote like a whole other 500 words, trying to explain himself. And I'm like, if you're not apologizing for what you said, is that an apology?
He just likes to hear himself talk. That's all.
I mean, just like, I believe, the way that, what's the definition for apology? Like, I need this real quick, because like a regretful acknowledgement of an offense or failure. Yeah, it didn't happen. What you got, Tony?
Also, an admission of error or discourtesy accompanied by an expression of regret, a public apology.
Like,
so,
go ahead.
Like last week when we were talking about the whole issue with players kneeling and what that means for bringing, attention and awareness to the social injustices that are happening throughout all the world, and especially here, what's going on in the States. I was bringing home the part of like, I think TK, you asked the question if we would continue to kneel or continue to sit or whatever, and I still am adamant of like I would continue because of the point of making the people who feel uncomfortable by that gesture to be uncomfortable and to have those conversations that are uncomfortable. And the reason why, again, bringing awareness and alertness is because of the systemic stuff that is going on when we have actual soccer governing bodies with people in power and positions to make changes and differences are having these opinions and are making choices that impact the generations to come. And so when those situations come in front, like, yeah, we're going to make this dude uncomfortable as hell. And so until those people are out of position of power, and then you have people who actually show compassion and actually are thinking of awareness of others and thinking about, the bigger picture instead of, I have my strong belief and opinion on my minute pocket of society. I'm sorry. You can kick rocks on that shit. So, again, I just have to bring that back to life. Like, these issues when we talk about, people kneeling and everything is not just for the gesture of like, that summer of 2020 when shit got wild, with, police brutality. It's not just police brutality. I apologize. My dog is going crazy right now. See, my dog thinks it's bullshit. See, it's not just about the summer.
It's real.
And because it was the, topic of conversation because we were all locked down. We had nothing else to do. No, this shit has been systems that have been here forever, and that there's shit that hasn't been changed. Yeah, more black people got money, more black people got some higher positions of credit. Yeah, we have black person. That don't mean shit. You're looking at, the exception, not the rule, and we try and change those rules. And so that happens. No, we're going to continue to kneel. We're going to continue to put the black fist. We're going to continue to bring these issues up. We're going to continue to address the issues with guys within the U.S. Soccer Federation who are ass backwards. Call it for what it is.
Come on, buddy. You're cooler than that.
Exactly. Just like my neighbor at the late night game. You cooler than that. Come on now, Tony.
Oh, man. But, I mean, it's just wild because, obviously when that happened, a bunch of soccer media just went crazy with that. And I think what was kind of weird in that moment was that people were they're basically saying, this is why I'm club over country. And I had to remind people of a certain term.
I'm just saying, where did that phrase start? Culture over club. I've been saying that. That's nice.
People got to remember, that happened last. That's also from FTC, UTD.
Nice mug. It holds about 14 fluid ounces too, I think.
It might be 15. It might be because it's kind of tall. But yeah, we saw last year and the year before that with the Iron controversy. It's like, yeah, the clubs fuck up too. So you can't just say that, okay, this is why I'm club over country. Like the whole board, fucks up with how to deal with race across the board, whether it's the men, the women, the children, everybody. And, it's like, that might be the next t-shirt, club, culture over club and country. Cause yeah, everybody needs work, in that regard. But, needless to say, one of the results from that meeting still came, players no longer have to stand for the anthem. And of course that John is no longer a member of the Athletes Council. There was one weird thing that I really, thought was super weird from that. So the voting power, you have each league that has its own thing. MLS gets 8 votes. NWSL has 4 votes. I think NISA and USL have 1. Why exactly does MLS get so much power? I'm it's basically saying hey, if y'all want something, y'all got to convince MLS, to, do their thing and play along. Otherwise, USL,
I feel like if our old buddy Ringo was on the show, he would say because MLS is a top 5 league.
Top alive.
Anyway, continue. Sorry.
But no, I mean, it's just, like I said, it's funny, the whole weekend we just saw zeros. The counter, I think, might be it's Wednesday now, so it might be at 3. But there's a reason why this is just permanent. Because
we need to just switch that to a permanent marker now. Race marker.
But and then did we even get on Zlatan versus LeBron last week?
No, we didn't get on that aspect. We talked about Zlatan in the other aspect.
It was versus Romelu.
Yeah.
Lukaku.
Talk about him against Lukaku. Now you got Zlatan versus LeBron. I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah. First of all,
pattern going on here.
Did you know that it's not one of Zlatan's favorite athletes of all time is Muhammad Ali?
But sorry.
No, go ahead. Speak your truth, B. Speak your truth.
I mean, it's like when people say their favorite artist is Bob Marley. They'll say that, but they're not about that life. You know what I'm saying? When I say that, when you talk about Muhammad Ali, you can't pick a more political athlete than ever before. The man risked being jailed in prison for his beliefs. The man,
I only like boxing stuff. That's all I like. I don't like.
If Muhammad Ali stuck to boxing, he would not be the iconic reference that he is now. So again, Zlatan. I mean, it's funny when that news line came out, and I think I put in our group chat that I was like, "This is the day that my fandom for Zlatan has died." I mean, the fact to tell LeBron that it's equivalent and parallel of saying "shut up and dribble." And so Zlatan, and again, it's funny you even hear American sports reporters talk about who really don't pay attention to soccer. It's funny to hear them try to dissect this and them looking at the Wikipedia page of Zlatan and everything like that.
Kendrick Perkins had the most god awful pronunciation though. You could just tell that
Kendrick.
he's from. I think he's from Alabama. I think
he's I can't remember. I thought he was from Arkansas or some shit.
Can you try to do it?
It was
Can you try to?
I can't.
Think about it. Said if you
do it,
if you Ibrahimovic is whole lot harder.
My system.
Ibrahimovic is a whole lot harder.
We gonna plug them. But
all right.
Zlatan,
no worries, Tony. I got you. Cheers, mate.
But Zlatan is not that hard. It's Ibrahimovic that's probably more difficult. But it's just sound it out. It's not hard.
It's like,
but yeah, he tried to tell LeBron to shut up and dribble. Mind you, they were just in the same city.
I know they're both in LA.
What were his exact words? Not what we deduced it to. What was the quote? Does anyone have it? Question.
Where's our intern? Where's the intern?
All right.
Contact at
see the TikTok, the ticker at the bottom, guys. Contact us.
He told him to stick to sports.
Yes.
Yeah. Politics divide. Athletes play. I
think he said, "I'm a footballer, so I stick to football and everything." And
mind you, he just had ethnic slurs hurled at him just a few weeks ago because people know that he's from Sweden, but he's actually an ethnic Bosnian, and he was playing Europa League in Serbia. If you know your geopolitical history, you know that Bosnians and Serbs don't get along in the former Yugoslavia. Get your knowledge right.
Ooh, look at the History Channel from Grando. Look at this. What?
If Yugoslavia had stayed together, that national team,
that basketball team would be bad.
That too. But yeah, you're experiencing this shit yourself, but you're still gonna come out of your mouth yeah, you should not do this. I'm like, dude, no. And LeBron,
that wasn't bad. That wasn't.
I don't know that was an accent.
That wasn't bad.
I gave it a shot.
Continue.
But LeBron, calmly shut it down because he knows just like we do. If you have that platform, why wouldn't you use it to try to change shit for the better. Like, it's, to me, of course, we talked about this, of course, with last week's stuff. It's like, you have the platform where eyes are on you, and whether it be on social media, whether it be at games, because mind you, they don't even protest against the NBA. They're able to get their voices out in numerous other ways, including this weekend with the All-Star game. They're helping out HBCUs. So it's I don't understand like how Zlatan would just really not look at it from the perspective like, yeah, like you're dealing with an underserved community. Granted, LeBron's rich and wealthy as hell, but he still understands that, yeah, there's still people back home and all over the country that, aren't in that same position. And, and we're all, looking to improve to where equal rights are actual equal rights.
Here's my other response I had immediately. Okay, athletes stick to sports and everything like that, and let the politicians handle politics. Mm-hmm. Politicians have done such a crackerjack job. So, yeah, we should let them continue to run the course.
We can't even get that right.
Anyway.
It's not like you judge me, man. So you judge me.
Cause, man, it's.
I want my stimmy, man.
I do want my stimulus check too, though. I'm saying, bro.
I got a letter about mine today, actually.
Ooh, really?
Is that an up or a down?
It's an up, I suppose. I wasn't really even going to include it. It was just, they said I basically get to claim my kid.
Oh, snap. We about to be balling up at TK's crib tonight.
Yeah, everyone, welcome to the studio.
We know where you're going to be at.
Welcome to the studio. Come before it becomes the baby's room, playroom.
We're like, yeah, I can't record tonight. The baby's crying.
Yeah. I mean, the monitor is right here. The real dad shit. Northwest Atlanta dad, holla at your boy.
Oh,
man. What's that? What's that hashtag? Hold on.
What's that?
No,
what?
Sound right. Sound right. Come on, man.
No, what?
What? It sounds like a baby.
Yeah, man. That's right.
No, that sounds like a species or something, man.
Hey, we out here working, man. We out here working. It's a little bit different in the north side. It's a little bit different.
It's a whole other game, OTP.
Yeah, man. As soon as you pass 20, things change.
Get past Cascade, it's a whole new ball game.
That's true. I mean, this line in the middle of the screen kind of represents 20.
That is true.
We're below 20.
Wow. I didn't even think about it. Wow.
I'm on the west side, though.
I used to be west. I used to be the bluff.
No, but you're on the east side, though. No, it's crazy. But whatever. Moving on.
But
that was a nice detour.
But yeah, before we get up in here with our guys from Protagonists, I just want to know, Tony, did you get a call from Schalke yet to take over as coach or sporting director? Because
that was in my 2-up. I got a new position. Just want to let y'all know this is probably my final recording with FTC
Germany. They're gonna let you in. Like,
you just blew the news, man.
Do they know you've had COVID? Do you know, because they're strict about their COVID. They don't play.
Yeah, I know, but I got contacted. They checked my LinkedIn out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
taking over as which role in Schalke are you taking? Because over the weekend, of course, for those of y'all who don't know, Schalke has basically had a god awful season. They've gone through like 5 different managers.
It's been rough, bro.
And
I don't know if you could say rough.
As soon as I claimed them.
Yeah. It's like, I really hate to compare it to this, and forgive me if it's offensive, but it's like watching a plane crash really slow.
Damn.
Little, I kind of
Really?
It's just deteriorating in the air.
I'll let that one work.
All the managers was like, it's tough to watch. It really is.
Yeah, the sporting director got fired. The head coach got fired. They probably fired some supporters too. Like everything's like they said. Like,
Hey,
you know what?
they fired their podcast crew. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we're available. We're available.
TV.
Hey, so y'all ready to learn German real quick? You know what I'm saying?
All I know is Scheisse.
Scheisse. Get this.
If there's a Duolingo
I have
for it,
one request.
Sit down.
What you
Go
got?
for it.
I have one request, Tony.
Yes, my.
You know where my allegiance is, but this one thing, doesn't matter. Can you pull some strings and get me a Weston McKinney kid?
That's a throwback now.
Pause. We'll make that happen.
Yeah, he's got juice now. He's got juice, so he can make a call. But
Okay.
Well, while Tony's in the booth,
He's about to make my dreams come true.
put the
Asking you shall receive, maybe.
That's
Grego had mentioned about the abilities of my Shopify from Further Culture and the name sets. There was a once custom made.
Christmas came early. Thank you.
With the American.
Thank you, Tony.
You're gonna need to put that on a Juve jersey because now the deal's official, baby.
Yeah, the man got a 4-year contract with Juve.
18 plus, I think.
20 million was the transfer fee.
3-6.
I just hope this was my hope when he signed the contract over there that he actually used like a Harry Potter wand or something like that. Because that would be dope.
That'd be gold. I'd love to see that.
He supposedly is like a fanatic Harry Potter fan, and I think he has a Harry Potter tattoo or something like that.
If that doesn't show up as a celebration in FIFA 22,
it has to.
It's got to happen.
It has to.
But yeah,
he keeps playing the way he's playing. It might happen.
Yeah, major congrats to Weston. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Like he's definitely been balling his ass off. I think. Yeah.
All right, let's send our emails right now.
All right, everyone, click their keyboards as loud as possible.
But yeah, he's done his thing and then some. He's earned that permanent deal. Shout out to Andrew Pillow for just like making the call and say, hey, we need to get this guy, and he's definitely showed up and showed out. And
yes, sir. Pretty low again.
One American working with a German. Not German, but one American getting the blessing, and then to see Pulisic, finally get some play again this past weekend. I think for the first time in a while, actually.
Yeah, didn't they have like a false 9 or something? Like they actually had him like up front. Like
I was just surprised that Giroud came off and he's still on with the beard. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
honestly, if he would follow Giroud's facial advice, if everyone on the team would follow Giroud's facial advice, I think it would be fine.
when
Seriously?
he has the beard, it's like a mini Giroud. It's like
it is. It's the shrunken down version.
Him and Mason.
That's our obligated requirement to Mason out.
Of course, like any Chelsea fan, you got to throw him down into the conversation.
Absolutely. It's the truth. You've seen it. You guys, the truth.
And mind you, we haven't forgot about Pulisic because he's been feeding Seth John that energy too. So I said we see you too, Christian, if that's your real name.
I mean, we haven't spoken about this in a while, but we know speaking about the home team and one of our homegrowns has got that same energy as well too. But we never did go. We never talked about that.
Yeah,
Mr. Andrew Carlton, and was he there on January 6th?
He said he was going. He said he was going, and I know that they the FBI actually arrested a shit ton of people.
Yes, they did.
But at least as far as I know, he hasn't been arrested. I thought
he's still on Snapchat.
He's still in the 11, right?
No. That's over. That's a loan.
Yeah, that's right. That loan's
So,
over.
right now, he's a free agent. I saw some pictures. Like he was like training with some kids.
Wait, was that a spoof then? Where they said he went to Austin?
That didn't happen.
No, somebody like photoshopped that shit.
That's Photoshop.
It's
Fake news, TK. Fake news.
Sometimes. I mean, I'm not saying I believed it. I'm just asking. I thought he had some move in the cards to one of the newer teams.
Say you thought wrong, B. But
I mean, whatever. I don't like the guy, but
like it's so
hope he gets a job
crazy.
someday.
It's so crazy because we all have close friends who know him well, and it was just like one of those things where it's like, especially if you follow the social media, it's like, was he a culture vulture the whole time? Because you thought he was down, and then all of a sudden it's like, make America great again. I was like, word. That's how we doing it now?
I'll see you in Dalton.
Dalton.
We're getting hype. Everyone who follows my Snapchat.
Oh God.
Yeah.
With my
for those of y'all who don't know, Dalton is out.
It's the rug capital of the world.
That's also true as well.
It's also where they held the last-ditch rally for Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue in the Senate runoff in Georgia.
Yeah, because TK was in attendance.
That's right. I was working, making the mada.
But yeah, man. We're gonna take a quick break. Pause for the cause. On the back half, we're gonna introduce our guys with protagonists, Josh Juder and Dan Vaughn. We're going to chop it up with them. We're going to talk about Teflon FC out in Barcelona and in Sacramento. We're going to some big news out there as well. So I'm going to pay a bill, and we'll be back. And we are back. Rashad went to go save some lives real quick. We're about to be joined by Josh and Dan from Protagonists. But I want to give a quick shout out to Chris Keogh. He's with Stella Artois, and very generous to have blessed us with some great libations from Stella Artois. We're drinking it from the mug. Tony's drinking it straight from the can, straight to the dome.
Hey, TK, you want one?
Yes, I thank you. Please go ahead, pass that up, sir. All right. Thank you. Cheers, fellas. Thank you. Shout out to Chris. Much love.
Delicious.
Yeah, hopefully we can do some business. Like we can get used to this sponsor deal. Like they're trying to get some business out here. And
we ain't bashful. We ain't bashful.
This show brought to you by Stella Artois.
Not yet. We say we.
But it's delicious.
Hopefully, like in the next week or two, we can make it officially official. But yeah, I could definitely tell you, this is crisp. I don't think I've ever had it in the can. It's always been like just bottles, but yeah, it's still good.
But you know what? It's a perfect time for it because the weather's about to change. It's going to be warm and everything. Like this is going to be a nice, crisp, cool taste.
It was a nice 71 over the weekend. I was like, I can do this all day. But yeah, man, it's
nothing better than watching a great footy match in a can of this.
Even though United doesn't want to score right now, but
seriously, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like that's our United mission. That's all we got. We didn't score. There you go.
I mean, you guys are 2-2 for the not hitting the back of the net.
Hey, TK.
Yes, sir.
Shut up.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing witty about what I had to say. Just shut up, okay?
And with no further ado, we bring you our guest.
Yeah. Live from El Paso and Portland, we got Dan Vaughn and Josh Juder from Protagonists Podcast. Welcome, guys. What is going on?
Hey guys, thanks for having us on the show.
Yeah.
I wish that we had known about the beer, though.
Hey, you know what?
Then it
Y'all, man. Wait.
Water. They got the cases. So.
Hey, man, I know how to turn beer into water. That's my magic. So I can do it.
Beer in the water, just like that. But yeah, we're glad to have you guys on. We're very glad to have entered into the podcast network with Protagonists. For those who aren't aware, tell them about Protagonists.
Protagonist is a lower league soccer, began as just a website focused on protagonistsoccer.com, focused on basically lower league soccer, anything third division and lower, basically in the United States. Started with just men's soccer, expanded to WOSO. We're working on building out our staff there. Then we started pushing into the podcasting game after we got rolling on the website. I mean, really, if it's got something to do with lower league soccer in the United States, we focus on it. It's been what we do from day one, and we're almost to 3 years, which is wild when I think about that. But yeah, that's what we do.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll expand on that a little bit. That's the foundation of Protagonist. I think we've been around. I think are we going into our fourth year now? We're headed into it. Yeah. So I think 4 years ago, I did a podcast with somebody that knew Dan. And then when they were looking for writers to kick it off, he reached out to me and just said, hey, would you write a piece for me? And it turned into me basically falling in love with the project. And since then, we've seen, I would say, no less than 20 writers come and go. Some have come back to us because they also fell in love with the concept of writing about soccer in a way that makes sense to their community, and not necessarily like you see hashtags all the time like support local, right? But it's like also, support that local team, not just that MLS team that's within 2 hours driving distance, but that community team that's within, a 10-minute walk or a 20-minute bike ride. And those are those teams that if you check out our website, I mean, all of these riders that love what we do, they love what they do. They hunt down those community teams that play in leagues you may not have ever heard of before. Maybe they started off as a 5v5 or a 7v7 team, and now they've grown into UPSL team. So, it's definitely a love affair with the project, but with these teams too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been aware of Protagonists for, I want to say at least 2 of those years. And when we started looking into a possible podcast home, I think I saw a conversation that y'all were having on Twitter regarding Burwell, and I was like, hold up, like the viewpoints that we shared. I was like, okay, this could definitely work because obviously for those of y'all that have done the whole Pro Rail dive on Twitter, they can go a shit ton of different ways, and so it was definitely refreshing to see another outlet. It was like, it doesn't have to be one way or another, or basically scorched earth on everything. So that was always a good vibe. But of course, like you said, you guys largely cover lower division. We kind of just cover whatever. So what kind of attracted you guys to us?
Well, we're in love with what you guys do. I mean, I think that in the podcasting community, there's not enough Black voices. That's just the truth. And the great thing about podcasting is that it's a very democratizing place. It's a place where you can have an equal voice with famous names. Grant Wall and Protagonists and FTC can be on the same phone that someone's listening to their podcast. So I think that what's cool about that is that opens up avenues for voices that have been ignored by the powers that be to get an opportunity to speak, to take a place at the table, and to speak truth. And I think that's definitely something that's attracted us for the culture is the way in which you all talk about soccer is refreshing, and it's refreshing because it's a perspective that we don't often hear, and certainly we don't hear about it in mainstream media, or you don't see it on TV. There are very few voices of color on most of those outlets, and so for us as people who we do podcast quite a bit, Josh laughs at me. I feel like I'm always recording a podcast. Like I do. I think this week I'm recording 3 shows. Last week I think I did 4. It's a passion that I have. The format is a passion that I have. And then for us, we wanted to take the platform of Protagonist and begin to expand that and use what we've done so far to start to elevate more voices into the conversation. And for us, the perspective of being able to work and partner with For the Culture and bring your voices in to listeners who maybe haven't heard you yet, for us was a tremendous opportunity that we didn't want to pass up on. It just made sense for us to be able to expand, again, going back to expanding that conversation and beginning to hear different perspectives. And I will tell you that maybe over the last, I think I sort of came to FTC through y'all's social media first, and then came to y'all's programs and the work that y'all were doing. But it's refreshing to hear voices that don't sound like Josh and I, for that matter. I mean, and that's the truth. We get tired of hearing each other all the time. It's like smelling your own farts, right? Like I'm not saying I want other farts in here, but I'm saying like I do want other voices in here. Just depending on how much beer you drink, you know how that goes. But I'm just saying, like, I just think that there are voices that need a place, and they will make you think differently. They will help you open your mind and see different perspectives and different ways of looking at the world. And we think podcasting is an awesome way to do that. And that is why we started the Alliance of Protagonist Podcast. That was the idea behind the Alliance, is that we would use our leverage, whatever we had, whatever power that we've gathered so far in the time that we've done, and open up the door for more people to step in and start speaking, and open up audiences to new voices, new perspectives. And we think it's an important work, and we think that our work, at least when it comes to the Alliance, is using our platform to spread, and then it's to allow people like yourselves to speak up and be new voices for people to hear, because that's where the real change happens. That's where people begin to think differently, is whenever just giving the opportunity to speak up and to be a player in this game, right? Like get a chance to play. So for us, that was what the Alliance was about. It's what attracted us to For the Culture, and to even the individuals, you guys that have been, as we've had individual conversations with you guys, just having the conversation is already opened our eyes to different things that we hadn't thought about before. And that's absolutely vital to growing as a human being.
Absolutely. What you got, Tony? I can't hear your snaps. You're over there.
I just had to make sure that I was on mute. So he was going, he was at the pulpit for a second. So
if a man snaps and he's on mute, did he even snap? Who knows? I don't know.
Rhetoric. Here we go. There we go. That's what he went to school for.
Exactly.
True.
I think what I like right now, I mean, if we're talking about how we discovered FTC, what I really appreciate is that Dan and I came across it independently, right? So for me, and I know that Dan also is a fan of soccer or football teams from around the world, but Dan follows players. I follow, and not exclusively Dan, I won't speak for you, entirely on those terms, but I follow a lot of leagues outside of the United States as well, right? So I'm a big fan of the Bundesliga, and my team is FC St. Pauli. They're a second division team, right? And so when I watch the Bundesliga on ESPN, I don't have a dog in the race, right? It's all the top division teams. I'm watching Schalke and their horrible plane crash slowly disintegrating, right? That was such an act. Yes, it was perfect. Oh man. The thing is, man, I when I start with FIFA, like FIFA 21, right? And I start a new team, I'll pick like Arminia Bielefeld and I'll get that 500, that 500 million euro boost. And I'll pick Schalke apart because look, on paper, those players are quality players, right? but something just didn't go right. So where I'm going with all this is, I mean, I like football. I like watching La Liga. I like watching Serie A. I'm a Newcastle supporter, sadly, so I get those sentiments of your team disintegrating. All that is to say that I came across your podcast while I was just listening for fresh voices to talk about the shit I already listened to. Yeah, hopefully I dropped that. Yeah, okay. Good. I think we had an episode where we maybe cussed a little bit too much, and a mom actually reached out. She's like, "I've been trying to listen to your stuff with our child in the car, but we just can't listen anymore. So please put explicit on it if you're gonna cuss."
That's funny, actually.
Yeah. When you have a parent reach out and say, "We like your show, but please edit yourself."
That's solid.
That reminds me of that
versions.
the whole trending thing of people taking their pictures and putting the parental advisory like as an album cover and everything like that. You definitely got to do that now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, one of the things I like to do is I'll just let podcasts roll over, set it up and just listen to, if you like this, will you like this? And I think I just kind of ran into yours and just listened to it on its own independently. And then I think we were talking about on Protagonist, I think, and we mentioned this, is Dan and I are very obviously middle-aged white guys. There's not much we can do about that, right? I know, Dan, shocker, Peloton in the back, everything.
Oh, whoa, Josh.
Whoa. But listen, there's a method to my madness in bringing this up. It's a recognition of that we have a sincere interest in being an ally and not using that phrase as just to be a catchphrase, but actually genuinely leveraging what we've built, whether it's something fantastic or just out of interest in hearing different voices. But we had a very sincere conversation about, are we the right people to be discussing these topics, or should we reach out to folks in different communities and ask them to be on our show? And then what we discovered is the people that are already knowledgeable about these things that we want to reach out to, y'all already doing it. You don't need us. You're already doing it. So the best thing that we could come up with was, hey, let's join forces, right? So let's join forces.
That's what's up. Now, of course, we aren't the only guys that you can find on Protagonists, soccer.com. Who tell us about the other shows and content that you guys have on the site.
Sure. So I think that if you talk about, again, going back to those podcasts that I'm always recording, we've got several series of podcasts that we produce. Sightlines is one of the shows that I do. It's one-on-one interview sessions with people from, you mentioned Schalke. It's interesting because I put out a show just this week with a youth coach from Schalke. And when I asked him about the prospect of going down, how would that affect his job? I felt bad for him. I felt like maybe I should ask the question, because that was this moment when he looked uncomfortable and, he tried to have a step upper lip, you could tell, but he was worried about it. But that show will be out later this week. Probably our biggest show is Nights Who Say Nisa. We focus on all basically Nisa news. It's three guys just basically doing what you guys do, but not quite, probably not as analytical, but it's more, it's just three guys. Basically, it's two guys fighting and one guy's trying to stop the other two from fighting each other. So focus on Nisa. Exactly. That you sound like John Howard Fusco there. But we also we do the weekly. The Protagonist Weekly is a show that we put out every week. We do our best to find guests for that show from other shows, other parts of the soccer community, whether or not they necessarily focus on the stuff that we're focusing on. We feel like having new voices in is a priority, and so that's how we use the weekly. And then I will tell you that we've got several other podcasts that are lined up to join, that will be announcing for the Alliance. That'll happen later this week and starting next week as well. We're slow rolling that just to make sure we have everything lined up and all our I's dotted and T's crossed. But there are several cool podcasts that are going to be in this Alliance that I think that there's going to be some that people have already heard of, and that's exciting because that's going to to bring large audiences, and hopefully we can start sharing and building, that interconnectivity between the Alliance podcast. But I think there's also going to be some podcasts that are not going to be quite as developed as FTC or what we do at Protagonists. And so that's also great too, because that means that we work to elevate them. That's what an alliance is, right? It's not just when it benefits you, but also as you benefit other people. So I think that there's a lot of really cool things coming. This is the first step. And for me, the bringing in FTC and making, like, you guys are part of the flagship of this. Like, this is, while we do produce our own content, we see you as partners in what we create here. And we're very excited to work with you. And, I think that for fans of your show, they're going to see, at least the plan currently, I guess I can't speak to the future entirely, but it's to get you guys onto other shows, and also to get other guests from those other shows onto yours, if there's some interconnectivity and so that we cross over our listening audience. And again, that goes back to where we were at the beginning of this conversation, where it's about having new voices to hearing fresh perspectives and allowing those to open your mind. And I think that to me is what the Alliance is about. That's what Josh and I, when Josh first pitched the idea to me, it was at first I was like, I don't know about this. And then the more he sold it, like, I'm a true believer now. Like, I'm in, and I'm excited to work with you guys, and the podcast we'll be announcing next week.
I definitely do appreciate that. Like I said, we're glad to be on. And I think Tony over there, like I said, you guys haven't met. You just talked to him before tonight, and his perspective is top notch. I don't want to toot his horn too hard, but he's got good shit over there.
Well, with those glasses, he better be, right? He looks like the professor over there, ready to teach.
Hey, classes in session, man. Always. No. I think, not to get all kumbaya and all that stuff, but I think that's the thing that's beautiful about this, and that's what's beautiful about this is the reason why we call it a beautiful game, is the fact that, like, cross-cultural, all these intersections, and the fact that, we're from all various parts of the continent, and, from various parts of interest of the game as well, too. Because, you talk about, all the different tiers of soccer that we're all interested in and have these, fascinations with, and the fact that we can all be here with the game, it's kind of beautiful. I mean, I'm not to shed a tear and be kumbaya, but that is the reason why it is a beautiful game. And the same thing happens on the pitch. Whatever club you support, many times these teams are dealing with multinational, players that come from all over, speaking different languages. But at the end of the day, the language is footy. So it is kind of cool to team up with you all and get our Voltron on and power up and just straight up.
I don't know if of course you haven't seen me in forever, but like when the phone rings, when there are our group texts, it's Voltron. Voltron.
I mean, but like it is cool though. Like, I mean, it's the things that Dan and Josh have just said. Like, I mean, it's powerful for what y'all said as far as y'all who have listened to us for a while, and then like the potential of the cross pollination, if you will, is definitely something that's pretty cool. And so we're definitely excited to be a part of this flagship. Definitely.
You got anything up there, Nawad?
Nawad.
Man, I was just enjoying the language, the cross pollination. Just tickles me a little bit. I'm sorry.
Sometimes the flower will tickle you, like the pollen that comes. It'll tickle you.
Well, that's usually more on your nose, though. Then you get sneezes and you're chewing and whatnot.
And so now I've given you allergies in there. Okay, thanks.
No, we're not quite there yet. It's March.
Let me plug while we're on here. I will be in Atlanta this weekend for the UPSL final.
No, you're here for the All-Star game. Stop.
Trust me, man. I will tell you, like, if I won't be going indoors unless it's to pick up a meal and walk out, because I am the most masky person, I don't tell you. Well, I'll get to that later, but I will tell you that like I'm not excited about the plane trip, but I got plans. I got plans on how to stay safe. But it is one of those things that I'm excited to be to Atlanta. I've never been, so this is the first time. So I was already hitting up friends for food recommendations. Like, what am I going to do? Because I'm a man that loves to eat, and I know Atlanta knows how to cook.
This is what I'm going to go. Have y'all seen the movie Idiocracy?
Yeah.
All right, so you remember the scene when the guys with whatever whatever the government agency there is, and he's doing the slideshow, and he's showing his time with Upgrade, the pimp. And he dove into the world of pimps. Like Dan is going to have that experience when he goes to Atlanta.
I'm not sure my wife would be thrilled with that.
Are you?
When he told me he was headed to Atlanta, in my head, I was thinking The Walking Dead in the scene where the sheriff is riding around on a horse.
Bro.
So the thing about The Walking Dead is only the first season was really kind of like in downtown. And then everything else is like literally like 30 miles outside of town.
Yeah.
It's past Tony.
I actually ran into a taping one day. Like I was taking a friend of mine's son to basketball practice, and like I guess like the path was in the way of them filming. And they're out there. But
what's crazy is that building is now been redone from that first season.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it got renovated, and it's supposed to be like some type of building now. But yeah, of course, NISA, like a good league, gave us some news today to work with to kind of mark all this. We got a team kind of coming back, but not really. But it's technically a new team, Stumptown AC, which was like the former Stumptown Athletic outside of Charlotte. They're going to be coming back for 2021. They took off 2020 for because of the pandemic, and but they're coming back technically as a brand new team, new logo, all that stuff that looks like a coffee label. But they're like,
is that a diss or a compliment?
Honestly, like, hold on, let's get this graphic up real quick.
Oh, yes,
no, call it out.
But yeah, like this logo right here. This logo right here. Right here. But yeah, like it's just not doing it for me. It looks like a coffee logo. It looks like
like whole bean, not ground.
Gosh, like because like it's lower divisions. It's probably more organic. I'm probably grinding the beans by hand. Just trying to get all of the natural flavor out. And like
this is more like Keurig, not an espresso.
Right. But it's going to be interesting to see. Like obviously last year you had the fall tournament that came about, and they said we're like what are you guys kind of looking forward to seeing this year with NISA?
Well, between Josh and I'm the big NISA guy, and I'm excited to finally see a full season because so far they've yet to be able to get that accomplished just because of all the pandemic stuff. It's been a mess. And so the chance to see some of these, all the clubs at this point are established and ready to go. And I'm kind of fired up. So we're going to start off with that spring tournament will kick off in Chattanooga, and then it's going to be a sort of an abbreviated season and then get back into the final. And then, I mean, when you come into the fall, we're going to have two brand new clubs. You're going to have Flower City Union out of Rochester, and then you're going to have Chicago House, Peter Wilt's new club. And that's exciting because both of those clubs have very like professional front offices. And that's exciting because you would hope that would lead to very professional clubs. We'll see how that goes. And then with this rebirth of Stumptown, the people that they've put in charge, Underwood, the coach, he was a coach in the Portland Timbers organization. He's very accomplished. I think it's going to be awesome to see him put a team together. I think there's a lot going on. And even the signings that we've seen in the offseason we're seeing a lot of USL talent start to work its way into NISA, guys that want the opportunity to play. That's going to bring the level of play up. And I'm fired up for it. I mean, this league is probably, Josh was talking about watching all those leagues in Europe, and like, if there is a league that I'm watching day in, day out, if there's a match on, I'm going to watch it. It's going to be NISA. Like, it's just the league that I'm most invested in right now. And so I'm fired up to see what happens this year. And even in the in we had a quick interview with the commissioner today that we ran on the website, protagonists.com, get them plugs in. Within the interview, he talked about the fact that there's going to be 2 more clubs coming in the spring. So we're seeing the map expand. I really hope that those are going to expand in California, because there's only 3 clubs out there. That is, with the Roots departing for USL Championship, like, there needs to be more filler, clubs over there in California. There's a lot of soccer talent out there, so there's no reason not to have more clubs out there. So I said all that to say I'm fired up about NISA. My bad. I think I talked too long there for a second.
Oh, you're good. Like, so we're definitely, Stumptown is just up the road. Like I said, it's just outside of Charlotte. So I think it's in Matthews, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's southeast, if I'm not mistaken. But we're definitely looking forward to checking everything out. And of course, you can find more NISA talk on the Alliance podcast.
We really got to get a graphic for that.
Yeah. But
it's the Alliance.
No, we need to finalize how we're going to do that. The Juggernaut voice is going to.
But yeah, man. Like I said, we're definitely glad to have you on. Of course, like we've been plugging for most of the show. It's been a good weekend for the Culture Shop at ftcutd.myshopify.com. With the racism counter shirts, also with the new kits coming out, the name sets are beginning to jump. Like I said, we got a pretty much whatever you want to do, we can do. Because I messed around and got my cutter fixed, and lo and behold, I'm actually good at this shit now. So between what we could do between printing and cutting here at Fred House 2, we definitely have a lot of things that we can provide out there for you guys. And of course, we still have a promo code still good for this week. Our promo code is Reveal 2021. So definitely, for those of you who want to use 15% off, get that. And if you don't want to use it and you still want to pay full price, that's cool too. We won't stop you. But yeah, definitely name sets, hats. By the way, this is the last week for the culture hoodies, because it's starting to get a little warm, especially here in Atlanta. So yeah, we got one more week. Come Sunday night, we done for the summer. Just go ahead and but we do still have the t-shirts. So again, ftcutd.myshopify.com. Promo code Reveal 2021. Get that. I think Rashad is back from saving the world. Let's see if I can get him back up on here. Yeah, there you go.
Yo, how was the board meeting, CEO?
In case you didn't hear that, that's all good. Like Shaq does. Yo, Shaq got put through a table, dog.
I saw that right now. I was like, what is going on?
He decided to finally wrestle, and he got put through not just one table, but 2. So,
did you say wrestle or wrestle?
Wrestle.
No, he said wrestle. Wrestle.
But yeah, that's like you're gonna have to come to like in the All-Star game with a neck bracelet. Like they got me. But yeah, man. There's like 6 of us tonight, so I don't know if we can do all 2 ups and 2 downs. So let's try to do like 1 up and 1 down. Let's keep it nice and neat. Oh, coming to America this weekend. Yeah. You don't sound too hype about that, TK. Did you hear bad things on the production set?
It's going to be a great movie. Sometimes you have to suffer for your art, and that was probably the experience for some of the people working on the production crew. They had to suffer for the motivation. That's all I can say. For the craft. Yeah, I don't want to let this turn into slander on the record. It's all good. Oh, hey! Look at that! No, it's great. I'm sure it was an awesome set to work on. If you can't take any conversation into a line from Coming to America, are you really trying?
No. There's always room for Coming to America.
Tony, would you take that as a rap gift? That's a yes. All right, that's a solid yes. But let's kick us off with I guess with 1 up and 1 down. My first up is my daughter is walking. What? Yeah. Whoa. But it's Grego. There we go. Yeah. So my daughter's, she's not like walking, but I'm sorry. I jumped the gun on that one a little bit. She's standing and she's getting very, very close to walking. So it's nice to see the progress, man. It feels like she's growing a mile a minute in front of me. Then I guess a down. The down would be this bill that they're trying to pass, and with the voting, man, you gotta call your local senators, make sure you're doing your deeds as a citizen, and let your voice be heard. Because we don't want to ease up the pressure here. We, got to keep a thumb on the button, so to speak, metaphorically here. But yeah, just want to make sure people have the ability to vote. A lot of things are starting to get scrutinized. So yeah, that'd definitely be my down. Cool. You guys want to give it a stab? What you got, Josh?
I've got an up, and let's see here. I want to talk about a project that Dan and I are working on. I won't spill too many beans, but it's a big project that we're really excited about. And as we get, we could tell you guys offline, but as we get closer to being able to tell everybody about it, I will say that we have achieved cash positivity on sponsorship for the project. It is green lit, and now we're putting the elements of it together. It'll be a first for us in a brand new medium. So we're really excited about that one. So that is a big positive for us. And then I've got my down. I've got 1 down, and this one's a bit of a bummer, but there's a slight positive to it. A dear friend of mine passed away this morning. He lost his fight against his own body, which gave up on him Saturday. And his name was Kevin, and Kevin was a member of the Timbers Army. He made some of the freshest shirts that you could find, and he hand printed every shirt that he made. Every design he came up with, he would hand print those. So if you have a shirt by Rusted Traveler, that shirt was made by his own hands. So Kevin was a loving man. He was a Navy veteran. He loved everybody. He would give anybody a hug. He would give everybody the shirt off his back, and oftentimes did. So that was a down, but I will leave you with a positive on that. That his GoFundMe page that was set up by fellow Timber Army members has gained over $40,000 to give to the family. There's also a meal train that you can sign up for, and my family will be bringing his family lasagna and salad tomorrow night. So go find the meal train in the GoFundMe and help out the Jolly family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I heard about the about his passing this morning. I caught on to it late, but well, I'm familiar with the GoFundMe. Is the GoFundMe still open?
It should be still open, and you can reach out to me in the Twitterverse, and I'll get the link for you there. Or you can probably you just go #RCTID, and you can find any of the Timbers Army. I'm sure that they're drinking some whiskey tonight in honor of our man, and the GoFundMe should be out there.
Yeah, we'll definitely put it in the show notes for you guys post production. But yeah, I'm definitely sorry to hear that. Tony, what you got?
Sorry, just like all Zoom meetings, I had to take myself off mute. I guess I'm starting down. Lately I've always been trying to stay positive, but my world got rocked. Literally the day after our recording last week, my mom fell into some health issues, and fortunately I live close to her, and so I was able to just not gonna be afraid to save her, and a week later she's still in the hospital. Things are better now. She's having some heart issues, basically, but she is back to her nagging mom ways. So that's a good sign. But there's been a lot of touch and go moments. So it's just been, a rough week for me this week personally. But, as far as that goes, actually that same day, that on Wednesday, the up I got is that, myself and another program manager that works for me with Soccer in the Streets, we were both honored for Black History Month with Atlanta United on their social media platforms. So that was cool.
The whole team was on there because Vera was up on there too.
Yeah, Vera was on there as well too. Reggie was on there earlier this month, or early the month of February. To be recognized for that was truly a great honor and surprise as well too. So, I'm always surprised that people actually care what I have to say about anything. So, how Anthony Anderson is he's just a boy from Compton, just a boy from Stone Mountain. I feel the same way. So, it was great to be honored by our home team in that regard.
Absolutely. I was like, this mug ain't say shit. And I got to see this thing on Instagram. I was like, oh, you're telling us.
My bad, man. My bad.
Because I would have been like, oh, man's on the site, bro. But yeah, that's crazy. Like I said, shout out to you, shout out to Vera, shout out to Reggie for getting their recognition by the home team. And that's incredible shit. I said we good, Rashad. You got to step up in here with the one up one now.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm gonna. Is it my turn? Here we go. All right. So this week let me start with my down, and I'm gonna go to the mask mandate that was just announced in Texas. So Texas now, I think by next week, the mandate is they're taking away there's no regulation for a mask or anything like that. But the governor is still saying to be responsible. But I don't think in today's society, I think some people need rules, some people need guidance. So if you give them a green light and say go, they're gonna take full advantage. And Texas is just one of many states now that really don't have a mask mandate. I think it's something that I suggest that we keep those in place until we hit critical mass, and then we could take our mask off responsibly at that time, or we could at least have stages and steps to get to that point to where we can all get back to normal. But that was just something that I saw as a down. But swinging on the upside of things, this past week we had something released that highlighted FTC, but not only FTC, but several other platforms like Banner Pub and other guys that are doing the same thing that we're doing as far as Black voices in soccer and podcasts. So shout out to American Tifo for helping us share our story about why we do what we do, why we started, and then just shining a light on Black media within soccer. So that was released. You can look up on Twitter and look up American Tifo, and you'll find the link for that story. Pretty sure it's on our Twitter as well. If not, we will link that article. But it was a pretty well done article. I'm glad that they spent the time to get to know us a little more and share our story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess Rashad lobbed that up for our main man, Dan.
Yeah, I was gonna say he swiped my my down, but that's all right. That's okay. I there's more negative shit in the world, I promise. But I'll start with my positive, my one up. I gotta. The vaccine rollout has been crap here in Texas because everything's crap in Texas right now. It seems like, but I've managed.
Hold on. How do you respond from like a near catastrophic freeze? So you know what? We're just done with masks. Who does that?
I say this all the time, and I know that like there are some like big time liberal voices that crap all over Texas, and I get it, and I ain't gonna lie, like we don't always do the right thing, but you have to understand that like that governor, our senators, they're all elected by the tiniest of majorities. We're talking about 51, 52%. Like there are a host of people in the state of Texas. I read the count somewhere that there were more people that voted in the state of Texas for Joe Biden than actually voted for Joe Biden in like the state of New York. And that stats off the top of my head, I could be wrong on that, but I do know that like there are plenty of people in the state of Texas that wish we did things differently, but there are enough idiots that we're all suffering for them, unfortunately. But good thing, my one up, I got the first shot of the vaccine, the Moderna vaccine. I'm pumped about that. I've been waiting for it. Landed that this week. As some people said, my cell phone coverage is already improved because that chip they injected into me. Thanks, U.S. government. My one down, man, there are so many downs in the world. It's hard to pick just a single one. But watching what's going on in Washington right now, watching a couple of Democratic senators slow everything down and selling out progressives all the time is bumming me out. Watching that $2,000 stimulus check that was supposed to be, now it's $1,400. Now it's not going to be for everyone. It's going to be for some. Like, I'm just tired of it. Like, we fought so hard, and you guys from Georgia, like you guys are really part of this. Like, you fought so hard to get what they were supposed to give you guys, and it's all getting shrunk down because of a couple of terrible senators. But I guess it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch people not care. You mentioned it, Greg. You're exactly right. We just come out of this freeze. People are without power for 3-4 days. Some people are without water for weeks now, and they don't care. They fundamentally do not care about the pain that people are living through. Nobody cares, and you elect people and you expect them to get the job done. And please understand, I'm not saying that we elect the other side, because the other side is full of psychos and people that I don't even know what they want. But like, for me, it's just like, do better, do more. Like, that's why you got elected. Do better. And so a little frustrated, but anyway.
So it's not like do better, do more. It's just like do decent, dude.
Do
like,
something, right?
Right. Like, decency is like that's something that we got even beg for, is just decency nowadays. Like,
yeah.
Democrat Texas going to Texas. Like I said,
it's. I can only imagine, especially with you being there in Texas, just be like, really, like this is just how we're going to do it. But I can't even imagine. But I guess I'll get up in here and do my thing. The down that I have yesterday in Barcelona, the police just raided club FC Barcelona. They said like, hey, y'all are out here basically feeding the media with bad intel on players, basically trying to smear them. And apparently, you can't do that. Kind of like a story came out like a few months back about them putting out stories about Gerard Piqué, and put out a game winner day, and yeah, like the president got arrested. Like, how far can this team fall? Like, it's just like it's kind of crazy. Like when you think about it, like just like especially like given the run that they had, not even 10, 15 years ago, not even 5 years ago, really. And it's like it's just all went to shit, all of it.
They could still get regulated.
And like, the funny part I saw was that like their social media was like, just showing pictures from practice. Like, yeah, that happened. Yeah, we're just over here, running around. Like you can't even acknowledge like what's happened and just be like, hey, everything's okay. The house is burning. This is fine. Like, everything is completely okay. They don't even want to do that, but that's just wild to me. My up is I'm bringing here home. The Atlanta Dream got sold this past week, and one of the significant figures of that is Renee Montgomery, former player with the Dream. Of course, she skipped last year out of protests / COVID reasons. And she had just announced a few weeks ago that she was retiring. Come to find out that she decided, you know what, I'm going to get on this and actually help buy the team away from Kelly Loeffler, who was, of course, prominent in her stance against the WNBA and the NBA, making a stance for Black Lives Matter, and obviously against her because their team basically said, hey, vote Warnock in. The Reverend Center is now in Washington now. So, but yeah, it's the first WNBA player to come in as an owner of a WNBA team. So yeah, like that's fucking awesome. So yeah, shout out to Renee Montgomery. She's very wiry if you see her in person. Like it's like she's small, but she's fit. But yeah, like. I messed with her on Twitter one time. I was like, yeah, I saw you up in Publix one day. It's like, yeah, like you over here. You can't miss it because like she had on that big orange WNBA hoodie. It was like, yeah, I know it's you. Like you should have just wore something else. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to hear that. Definitely excited for the Dream to be away from Kelly Loeffler and she can go be rich without a WNBA team. But yeah, man.
Show her millions with her husband.
I was hoping you would say she could go left.
Oh,
no, is it that?
I see what you did there.
Could have been you. Could have been
dad jokes, man. Seriously, bro. Like,
Tony, are you shunning me? Jeez. Fathers support fathers. Come on, man.
Go this Nwad versus Swad beef, get to the best of y'all.
There is a bit of Swad versus Nwad. I mean, like
the battle at 20.
I mean, actually, Greg, you're gonna have to rearrange this grid that you got going. This guy.
I don't want him next to me.
Get off my side of the border.
Hold on, can I do that? Oh, actually, yes, I can. There you go. Yeah. The mayor is the one set in the.
Oh, why? Okay, north. Okay, north.
He's in Texas. That works.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we're definitely glad that you guys got to hear us, and also Josh and Dan from Protagonist Soccer. Like I said, we're glad to be on board. And like I said, we're part of the Alliance. And definitely looking forward to bring in some fresh perspective to your fan base, and hopefully we can bring some listeners over to your side as well. I actually got something in mind for you guys soon on that end to help add to that. Like I said, I'm not going to lay it out just yet, but I got stuff for y'all. But in the meantime, where can they find Protagonists on the social?
Social media, it's going to be Protagonists USA on Twitter. That's our big one. We're very Twitter focused, I won't lie. But you can find us Protagonist Soccer on Facebook, Instagram. But yeah, on Twitter, it's at Protagonists USA. That's because you can't spell out Protagonist Soccer because it's too many characters. So Protagonists USA, yeah, it is what it is.
Don't forget second handle Protagonist Podcasts. That's where we post our podcast links from. Mm-hmm. We also do all of our giveaways from our shows on the podcast handle, and we regularly post our sticker club information on the podcast handle.
Oh yeah, we got stickers coming too. So yeah, y'all get ready for that.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, like I said, we're definitely glad that you guys were on the show. Like I said, we're glad. So we look forward to see what else is to come. But of course, you guys, that know us all good and well, you can still find us on the socials at FTC UTD, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're still there. We're still everywhere. And again, make sure that you catch this episode on your favorite podcast apps, on our YouTube channel. And make sure to subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your homies and bays all alike. Like we're there. But yeah, we're excited to start this ride. So yeah, we next week we're doing a special episode with our homie Yogi from River City 93. And Can I Kick It? I believe we're doing a bio on Dwight York and Andy Cole. So definitely looking forward to that. So. Yeah, I see I got your attention over there, Tony, because that one's for you. But yeah.
And should also recap All-Star Weekend and Dan's, gonna go check out the Medusa.
My baptism by fire.
Dan's gonna check out the Medusa with Jeezy. He's gonna get some performance.
We're gonna have a recap like, yo, I'm still here.
Hey, you know what? Dan's gonna be like, yo, I'm still here, just like Onyx is still here.
No, I'm coming back, baby. But yeah, man, until then, be safe this weekend, especially for y'all here in Atlanta, especially y'all in Texas. But yeah, until then, for TK, for Coach, for Mayor, for Dan, for Josh, it's Grego. Coach is real, Coach is everywhere. Stay masked up no matter what your state says. Do that for us. We'll see y'all soon, and we out.